Definitely binging. We've got Marcus on the line from Fulham. Hello, Marcus.
Hello, Judy. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Talk to me.
Well, what would you like to share your story about food?
Well, the lovely researcher asked me to take it from two angles. First of all, from the personal side. So when I grew up, my half-Chinese mum taught us in Australia. Well, actually, she didn't teach us. It just happened that we must have a good relationship with food just through what she was cooking in the kitchen, and then we all learned how to cook by watching her and then getting involved. I then thought that was normal, and I thought everybody did that in all families.
Right.
And then when I grew up a bit older, I realised, actually, no, that's not the case. And I couldn't understand how people could not have a good relationship with food. Now, when I came to England and had to deal with me coming out, when I was
when you say coming out,
as in I'm a gay man.
Yes, okay.
And then when all my depression set in, and I had quite a lot of depression for quite a few years. Yeah. When I got depressed, I wasn't eating, and then my relationship with food changed. But then when I realised, actually, that's the time that I have to reinvigorate what I was unconsciously taught from my mum in Australia. If I don't eat properly, my brain doesn't function, because all the food that you eat, 40% of the energy goes directly to the brain for you to function properly. And so almost half of what you're eating is actually to look after your brain. So you've just got to eat properly. You just have to, but also learning to enjoy every single mouthful of food that you put in your gob.
Yeah.
We've just got to do it, and it's one of the hardest things for us to learn, but we've just got to push and push it until we get there.
So you felt like, that moment where you made that decision to come out, it changed, food.
Yeah, it did.
There was a part of your relationship that changed, yeah.
Yeah, it did, but then it came back, which I was very thankful for. And now what I actually do, I teach people. I'm actually now an LGBT IQ plus relationship psychologist based in London, and the first question I ask all my clients is, what's your relationship with food? And 90% of them say, what's it got to do with me, with my relationship problems? And I say to them, it's got everything to do with everything, full stop.
Right. I'd love to ask Dr. Ferguson, is that something you've seen, relationships in regards to personal relationships with partners and family members, and there's some kind of connective factor in regards to food?
Well, I mean, I think our relationship with food is often just a relationship as well with ourselves and what's going on with our lives, and it can evolve. Just, if you think it can evolve over time, it's not a static experience, and something that can be good, it can evolve in different ways depending on what we're experiencing. But absolutely, I think it's very much tied in. All of even our food choices, a lot of these things are really wrapped up in our self-identity and how we see ourselves and our place within the world.
I that one there struck a chord for me. What you said just in regards to relationship with food is reflection of the relationship with yourself. Marcus, did you hear something of that? Is that something that pushed you into becoming a psychologist for the LGBT community when it comes to food and relationships?
When I grew up in Australia, I qualified as a chef first, so I had 30 years. I had 30 years background of that. And so what I decided to do when I switched over to the psychology side, using the mind, body, soul, spirit, I decided to put food in as almost number one or maybe number two position. When you think of mind, body, soul, spirit, I think of psychology, food, music therapy, crystal healing. And as I do all four, I wanted to cover mind, body, soul, spirit. So in order to do that, to cover the body, you've got to cover food.
You have to. You definitely. Becky, would you agree with that? Have you had that experience with people that you've worked with at the club, the anti-diet club?
What, that people relate to food, how they relate to themselves?
Yes, yeah.
Definitely. I think one of the biggest issues that we find is that people moralize food. So they say that this food is good and this food is bad, and therefore if they eat the good food, they feel good about themselves. They feel like they're worthy and they're doing really well, and they get a bit of a boost. And if they eat the bad foods, they really spiral and think that they're a bad person. And that's something we really try and hammer home, that you need to feel a bit more neutral around food, and this will help you feel less sort of out of control.
Definitely. Marcus, thank you for sharing that experience. Really interesting for you to say, you know, regards to when you was coming out, how it changed your relationship with food and from the LGBT community, and really putting that out there for people to understand that there's different factors, and that the fact that you ask your clients, even though it's about relationships, the first thing you ask them about is their relationship with food. Thank you. That is Marcus from Fulham. You know, we've got another caller on the line, but